Hi, how are you? Welcome to Impossible Live. Welcome back if you're popping in and just joining us as part of Team Replay. And at any rate, just would love to greet you and wish you a good day filled with opportunities and possibilities. Well, today's title, Justice and Truth, is a Brenda Russell song. And one of my favorites. I adored Brenda Russell. Since a dear friend who's now a guardian angel introduced me to her. And her music just lifts my soul, kind of lifts my spirits. And today's title has kind of been on the wish list of ones to explore. And I'm really grateful that you're here with me today as we are exploring this one. So it is, as I call it, another timeless and vintage Brenda Russell song. And what I love about the vintage titles and the exploration into them is that whenever we do this, it's always going to be an interesting tech day. So, justice, when I was a kid, I used to think of the scales of justice. And I remember this statue we would watch years ago. And I have to ask my mom if she remembers where it was. But we saw this beautiful statue of the scales of justice and a young woman. It might have been on a trip to the nation's capital, or we love to travel as a family. And when I first heard of this, I thought of poetic justice. Dating myself a little bit, Janet Jackson movie with Tupac Shakur, and on the other hand, I think of the scales of it and justice, just in terms of the lines of Brenda's song about whether we're able to be fair to each other. And it's been coming a lot more, up a lot more in our fragile world, as I call it. And Meryl, Meryl, amazing Meryl. Meryl says, give us 22 minutes. We'll give you the world. And Meryl, to you and to those joining us, here's today's virtual toast. I hope you're having incredible weather. We're currently having a temporary Indian summer on another supermoon. And I hope wherever you are that you're safe, that the weather is kind of stable. And I am laughing at Meryl's amazing comment because it's a reminder, justice and truth. It's a matter of our perspective and how we look at it. What is our perceived reality and actually what is happening? But one of the wonderful lines in this beautiful song by Brenda Russell is the reminder, just be fair to me and I'll be fair to you. And I always thought it was a great example of kind of the golden rule or the platinum rule that we learned as kids in school. And that within that, there was an opportunity for us all to be heard, or can't even call it an equal playing field because we know sometimes it's not. But the reminder and the invitation to give each other the awareness, the respect, and hold space for each other. I was reminded this weekend with my mom, and we've been spending a lot of time together while I'm with her the past couple of weeks. And she said to me, you're not paying attention to me. And I thought I was fully present and fully aware. But I appreciate in our legacy relationship as it changes over time. And I'll say changes over time because about to celebrate a milestone birthday, and we'll see what that celebration is like. But the reminder in there that as our relationships are changing, what we're looking at fairly, what we're balancing is really changing. I appreciate her saying it to me. She really was letting me know she was ready to play Siamese mahjong. And yep, and Meryl's saying one of his favorites. One of mine too. I love that album, and I'll call it the CD of her greatest hits, Meryl, because There's so much, and we had the opportunity to see her in person at the Blue Note, and I laughed because I didn't have I'm on the line to buy her CD and to get her autograph. And she was so gracious at the Blue Note. So gracious. What I loved was I'm there for an autograph, and I realized I have nothing for her to sign. I don't want her to sign the cover of her new CD that I got because it's really dark. I'll never see her signature. So you'll laugh. I still have a $5 bill somewhere, Merrill, that Brenda Russell signed. But today, on that note, to nostalgic memories. And hi, Leslie, you're never, ever late. You're always here perfectly on time. And thanks for lighting up our weeks and our trails with your fantastic carousels to help us catch each other's live events and upcoming events. In the process, hey, Ileana, I need you. I've got a project for us. You're going to love it. It has your two favorite initials in there. They are reversed in your name. Those initials are AI. Let's chat. But while you're here and joining us, and we're talking about justice or truth, what's been coming up a lot recently, and you'll see it in a lot of my posts, I'm on the board of Fearless Hudson Valley. Fearless exclamation point, Hudson Valley. And I'm delighted to have been on that board for almost 16 years. Been raising funds for them for about 20 years. And today, as part of Justice in Truth, during Domestic Violence Awareness Month, for those of you joining us live, and for those of you who are joining us on a replay, come dance with me on April 17th of 2026 at the Villa Venezia Barn, and meet me for some in-person toasts as Fearless celebrates their 40th anniversary at the Celebration of Hope Gala. You'll see a lot of posts recently by me on LinkedIn about this and on Meta. You'll see a bunch of series with the hashtag Remember Their Names in honor of people who have lost their battle in Orange and Sullivan counties in New York. And it's pretty much a national campaign. You're also going to see that on October 16th, we're going to have a Think Purple event. I promised Marcia Lee and Therese Lang last week during Therese's Cool Audio, which tells you a little bit more about Domestic Violence Awareness Month. But the justice and truth part, as a kid, we don't really define justice. We don't really define fairness. We think of it, somebody bullied you, somebody called you a name, something doesn't feel quite right in a game or an environment. But from the perspective of me really learning about justice and truth, I have a couple of cousins that we lost at like a really young age. And the first one, I didn't understand the backstory. I now understand it decades later. And I didn't understand the backstory in the back of an extremely full church, because normally for services, we would sit up front with family. And I understood later that day why mom needed to sit in the back of the church. It was a little too close. And honoring another family member. Hey, Kimberly, how are you? Honoring another family member who had just lost a child. So that was my first taste of truth, I think. And truth from the lens of a kid, where we're not really sure what assault means and what domestic violence means. And looking back at it, there was a lot of it in the world around us and other people's families. So as we're celebrating Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and ask me why. I talked to you about Nana, talked to you about my cousin Tiffany, and I would love to invite you. There's someone somewhere who may not be at a point of developing a safety plan yet, who might not have visited a clothesline project. So Fearless, there's all these t-shirts all around Orange and Sullivan counties. They're t-shirts in honor of survivors, created by loved ones, created by survivors, created by family members. And a lot of them, in many cases, created by children. It's the real reminder in our world of justice and truth. Our kids are always watching, our nieces, our nephews, our godchildren, our grandchildren. And I, Mike, I will definitely put a lot of information. So, Mike, on my page, there's a post from with a picture from Kristen. Kristen, hi Nikki, how are you? I am so honored you are here and delighted from watching and cheering on all the amazing authors that you're publishing books for. Mike, Fearless Hudson Valley is all over my LinkedIn page right now and all over my Meta page, partially because it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, but also Kristen, yep. And Ileana, yep. She's just hearing Justice and Truth for the first time. So thank you for the reminder. Music lights us up. It's my pop's language. It's one of my music is one of my love languages. And Mike is here writing another song, and it would definitely help Mike. So on my page, you'll see a cloth that Kristen Carabello designed, and Kristen is the amazing marketing person at Fearless Hudson Valley. And she designs a cloth, and Verizon has a campaign where Fearless has an opportunity, if we can get enough votes, to have that cloth distributed on a wider level and to receive a $5,000 grant. And Mike, I'm definitely going to point you more towards it. You'll see Fearless all over my page, probably for now, about a good 10 days. And Therese and Marcia Lee did a fantastic audio room on domestic violence and on the effects on children, how it changes the lens through which children grow up, through which we learn to build our relationships. So if we think of the song Justice and Truth through that relationship lens of whether we're having interesting conversations with family members, with colleagues, with neighbors, or whether we're avoiding those conversations, but hopefully that we're holding spaces for them. But yes, the work of Fearless, the work of domestic violence, amazing agencies. And, hi, Leanna, how are you? That amazing agencies who are operating in a kind of challenging, fragile world right now. And really, as I learned last week, in danger of losing more funding that helps survivors and their children have places to stay, because the agencies that support services in some cases are able to help offset their monthly rent costs until they're able to kind of get back on their feet. Hi, Lowe's. How are you? And Kimberly, thanks for asking. Because Kimberly I had so much fun learning about Kimberly's stellar background recently, besides the fact that this brilliant woman operates Power of the Moment and all she's doing now in terms of emotional intelligence and emotional mastery. Her background in childcare helps her uniquely position. And I want to thank you for that, for sharing the passion of how we can help support future generations. Back to Fearless. Come dance with me next spring and come raise a glass. And if you have a chance, please pop into the Verizon More Than a Cloth campaign, the link that I'll put also in the chat here. And I'd love it. Just please, if you can, vote daily from multiple devices, one device per day. But please vote, because Kristen, she's got a beautiful eye, and this agency, it's beyond the heartstrings. It's beyond. People are like, what do you care about? Care about helping others flourish in our fragile world. And my Nana never told us she was a domestic violence survivor. I found out from other generations who shared the stories. My cousin Tiffany, who would have been 20 2 weeks before Christmas, when campus security could not protect her. Hey, Christy, how are you doing from sunny Florida? So today, justice and truth, because our definition of justice is developed as we're kids, and it changes as we're out and about in our fragile world. And the truth part, this is a season of hidden truths for me. I'm starting to share them more wider and gently with those who hold fantastic spaces and who listen. It may not be your season of processing hidden truths. You may be like many of us in families that hold those secrets across generation, and they teach us shh as a child. Love to invite you in today's world, and especially in these conversations about Domestic Violence Awareness Month, to really remember we need to change our words, change our world, and remember to always act as if a child is watching, because one is. And these things that, yep, Nick, she passed at like 93, and I had no idea, Nick, of what she had gone through in her life until one day I came back from college and she could tell that the light had changed in my eyes. She didn't know what it was, and I never shared it with her. She didn't know that I experienced a trauma in my sophomore year of college. Changed my life. Believe survivors when they pop up. But she noticed when I came back that something was different about the spark. And she said to me, guard your light. I'm delighted to be at Mom's with the door open on a beautiful Indian summer day with the background of wonderful fur babies greeting us. I think, too, the reminder, it's not always inner strength. We don't know that we have it. I didn't know that I had a lot about this cause until one day a friend called and I volunteered and we took a drive. And that was the beginning of referring her to Fearless. You, as a board member, there's not a lot we can do. And I appreciate an amazing conversation in Lachelle Atkins' Elephant Strategy on Clubhouse yesterday, where an amazing woman that I have the chance and the opportunity to reach out to, an amazing woman by the name of Renee, shared her story about how it's not easy to remove yourself from a situation in which there is intimate partner violence. So the board I'm on, intimate partner violence, human trafficking, teen dating violence. It's one of the reasons why today, from a justice and truth lens, that I would love to invite you to think of the definition that our children have, the definition that our young people have, because they're in a world where these terms are sometimes defined in terms of the trauma that they didn't invite. And I appreciate this because, yep, it's milestone birthday month. And nope, my birthday is not on social media. But we're going to toast and dance as if today is what I'd love to call your day. Today, someone you know is grappling with the concept of justice. Somebody you know, with all these super moons, all this stuff that's happening in our fragile world, somebody is grasping on the truth. I'm grateful today to have an opportunity to prepare Mom an early dinner before she goes out, before tomorrow we resume our Siamese Mahjong wars. So, for those of you who didn't know, puzzles and games were my love. My mom, as Merrill is reminding me, I'm now saying I'm the daughter of a scholar. I always say I'm a teacher's kid. A coach said, say you're a daughter of a scholar. My mother is brilliant, and I will say it and be grateful for her every single second. So the daughter of the scholar is learning strategies on how to get a double mahjong. We practice this on Saturday, and I'm sure we'll be back to it tomorrow. There's somebody around you too who, just like the light, could use a game, a hand, a plate, a smile, something to lift them up around the miles. Hey, Dr. Marcia, welcome. So, as Mike said, I am sharing the links for Fearless Hudson Valley in this chat, in every post, in my post about the supermoon, in my post about More Than a Cloth for Kristen. You'll see it in October. There's somebody somewhere you know who needs help redefining justice and truth. Let's pay it forward so that our youth have an opportunity to live in a world where justice and truth has some of the sweetness that it used to have. Another Brenda Russell song way back when. We need to bring that out as I'm leaning into this mission of Ignite Trust, and really in this mission of inspiring leaders and dynamic teams to cultivate trust in our fragile world. So your solutions, your services, your offers, your products are no longer the best kept secret. If we have not had a chance to have a conversation yet, to network at an event, let's chit chat. And while we're talking about that networking tab on this lovely platform we're on, there are names of guardian angels whose services I attended in the networking tab of our live events. This is a new one in terms of where the data and the analytics are coming from. Yep, I'm adding it to the Event Alchemy Analytics and Metrics webinar that we're planning this fall. But I want to thank you for joining us today. Thank you for spending time today. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for holding space for our moms, for our loves, for our kids, for our fragile world. Thanks for considering voting for Kristen's amazing design of getting us way past the 20% into the 40 or 50% that we're going to need for Fearless Hudson Valley to win this contest. So today, wishing you a magnificent day filled with blessings, opportunities, and possibilities. Take great care. Stay safe, stay well, stay inspired, and stay in touch. And yes, please, as the sergeant said in Hill Street Blues, let's be careful out there. Take great care, be well, and stay safe.